Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA, and this video is going to be on Ruthless Robbie Lawler, living up to his fucking name, being ruthless as a motherfucker. We all know Robbie Lawler is a beast. He's a monster, and you're going to have to rob him from his consciousness in order to stop him from coming forward. Now, we all saw in the Rafael Dos Anjos fight that Robbie Lawler was dealing with something. Something was going on with his knee. We didn't know exactly what happened. You know, kind of like in that Robert Whitaker fight where Romero kicked out his knee and then you knew something was up. You knew his knee was fucked. And we knew towards like the middle end of the fight, middle to the end, we knew his knee was fucked. But we didn't know to the extent of how badly it was fucked. Dana White came out and he said the guy's leg was destroyed. He blew out his ACL and meniscus and every other thing that's in your knee out in like the third round. Wobbled over to the fence, laid against it, and asked Dos Anjos to come in so they could just bang it out. Pause. Robbie Lawler went to the fifth round. And when you really think about that, for someone to tear their ACL and their meniscus and fight over 10 minutes with a torn, like your knee ripped the fuck apart, that is insane, man. That's a beast. And I don't take anything away from Dos Anjos' performance, but it kind of puts things in a different lens, because the championship rounds is usually when Robbie Lawler really fucking comes alive, and he just redlines it all the fucking way and just slams his foot, like pedal to the motherfucking metal, and just burn out the tires and just go. And he gives no fucks. He just revs that engine till it's gonna burst. And we didn't see that. And this is definitely reason for that. I'm not saying he would have won the fight. I'm just saying that's why we didn't see the Lawler we're used to. Because look back at the Rory McDonald fight, the Carlos Condit fight. You know, ever since those Hendricks fights, that Lawler's like, you know what, fourth and fifth rounds, the championship rounds are essential, and he really fucking pushes it. Now, the fact that he blew out his ACL and his meniscus, it doesn't take anything away from Dos Anjos' performance to me, because Dos Anjos was doing good in the early rounds as well. I just think for the fans, it took away more of the entertainment factor, because we could have seen it being a lot more like just leather being fucking swanging around. So I feel like, I mean, that's just kind of a victory in itself, bro, to not get finished when your knee is torn apart. Like, his corners could have called it. They could have ended it. You know what I mean? But to stay in a fight with a torn ACL and a torn meniscus, the only thing that worries me about that is the complications. Because if once it's torn and you're still actively on it and trying to maneuver with it, you're probably just tearing it even bigger and larger. So granted, he made it to the fifth round and all that, but he really might have added a lot more time off, because ACL, I mean, after the surgery, you need at least 6-8 months, like, period. But to the extent of his rip, and like how many things, he didn't only tear his ACL, he tore his meniscus, and this was confirmed by other sources. It's like, damn, Robbie Lawler is going to be out for a hot minute, because that shit, first of all, he probably has to get an ACL replacement, and if his body, then he's got to recover from that. If his body rejects the ACL surgery, then he has to get another one, like what happened with Dominic Cruz. And really, it's with the meniscus tearing it as well. I'm saying, like, Robbie Lawler is definitely gonna be. We're probably not gonna see Robbie Lawler fight until 2019, to be quite honest with you. And it really sucks to kind of go away, like, to kind of come off of the fans' radar off of a loss. Because when you look at the T-Wood fight, when you look at, he got knocked out in the first round, was supposed to fight Cowboy, decided he needed more time off, which is smart, and finally at 214, I believe 214, Lawler Cowboy was on. I can't remember exactly, but the fact that he went there had a good fight with Cowboy, but the momentum kind of died down and it didn't really get built back up again. And you know, it's when you're kind of like not on the downgrade performance wide, on the downgrade perception and momentum wise, a break is just gonna kind of fuck it up a little more. So when he comes back, he kind of needs to go through a little bit more to build up that momentum, because especially when you think about it, right now he's ranked like, I don't know, probably like within the top 3. I didn't look at the rankings, but actually I may be wrong. He might not be in the top 3. He's definitely in the top 5. He's probably like number 5 or something like that. The fact that he's going to be away because of injury, without him doing anything, he's just going to fall down and down and down and down the rankings. And especially because he didn't really kind of end it on a high note, or like it's not like a Carlos Condit fight where they just like ended it with a bang, and even if he lost it, it's like his stock is still high. It's like he's probably going to be in the top 10, like the tier end of the top 10, and when he comes back, he's probably gonna have to fight like a number 7 or a number 6 guy. So that just kind of, at this point, he's just kind of further and further and further away from the title shot. But another thing is the UFC knows the guys that really come and deliver for them, and they kind of give them some good looks. You know what I mean? But another thing is, like, look at Carlos Condit. He was away. He had that Maya loss, and then he went away, and then they gave him a top 6. Nah, Magny is like 12 when he fought him or something like that, I believe. So they gave him a guy outside of the top 10, and then he lost to that guy outside of the top 10. So you could see where I'm going with it. That, like, Carlos Condit's a perfect example of it. So I feel like that's what Lawler's gonna go through, but as a fan, as you know, as a spectator, I can't help but have nothing but the highest level of appreciation and respect for just that warrior spirit and just going out there on one fucking leg, essentially. You know what I mean? That shit is wild. Robbie Lawler is a motherfucking beast, and he's ruthless. He lives up to his name. I don't know if you heard that song, Live Up to My Name, but AKA is ruthless and he lives up to his name. Yeah, dude, he is fucking a beast. And shout out Robbie Lawler. Wishing him a speedy recovery, but my guy's gonna be out till like 2019. Probably even more. He might even be like out. Yeah, we might see him coming back like first quarter 2019. So we're not gonna see him for like a year. You already know it's Mastermind MMA.